Hello everybody, welcome back again. We're going to be continuing on with where I left off just a couple hours ago, or I guess just an hour ago, in terms of doing some rebalancing. So I'm going to be just playing with some balancing. Time to tilt the scales, yeah. I'm just going to be playing with some balancing, trying to bring everything more in line. We finished off the last stream by... Oh, I need to update these things. We finished off the last stream by changing how fire works. And so I think I want to change how poison works as well. And also I'm going to need to go and nerf a bunch of fire. So yeah, I think this is going to be part of broader balancing efforts, but I think these changes are going to be good for the game. And so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, before we get into it, I want to remind everyone that the Alchemortis playtest is live right now. So head on over to the Steam page, click this request access button. Would very much appreciate if you would do that. Leave me your feedback in the Discord. All that stuff is linked below. And that's it. That's the most important thing. All right. Welcome back, Diginanigans. Hello, Rose B Games. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you again. Ninja Link. Welcome. Good to see you again. Alrighty. So let's start maybe with the poison here. So here's what poison does. Right now it ticks every single time. So it does damage every time. I think what I want to do is... I'm in the wrong spot. Poison status. So it ticks every turn for 3 turns, but a turn is a rather quick thing in the game. And each stack ticks independently. So I think what I might do is, let me think about this. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. Probably going to need to synchronize this. Actually, we could do something similar to what we did with fire. So I want everything to tick on the same turn. So that means if I apply poison on turn 2, or apply poison on turn 1 and then apply poison on turn 2, I want them both to tick on turn 3 as it exists currently. So we'll probably do the same thing as we did here. That's the wrong one. Fire status, where we just keep track of like the turns executed here. And then we could synchronize those up. So we could do private, const int, turn interval, and then turn duration. Let's do 9 is kind of a weird turn duration, but that's all right. So we got turns in executed here. Turn duration is 9. Turns executed ++. Okay. Yeah, so here, what we'll do is we'll say if turns executed greater than 0 and turns executed mod turn interval is equal to 0, we will then execute all the poison. Now, do I want to do that? That might actually be weird. Hello, I realize that most of your games involves pointing and clicking. Is that not every game? What game does not involve pointing and clicking? Maybe racing games? But welcome back, Just Janny. Good to see you. Actually, I don't know if this is the way that I want this to work. So each application of poison lasts 9 turns. But it's only executing every 3 turns. So that could be the case that if I apply poison on turn 3, it will apply the damage immediately, but its turn will only go down by 1. Its turn duration will only go down by 1. So there could be a situation where I'm left with some dangling poison, I guess. Maybe I don't want to use a turn duration here. Maybe I just want to track poison executions. Actually, I could probably, turns remaining, I could probably just change how this works. So this turn duration can remain 3 and the turn interval can remain 3. Yeah. And then I only tick the entries. I only tick the entries if we're on the turn interval. So that should work. So it's going to last for 3 executions, but it's only going to execute once every 3 turns. Okay, maybe that will work. We'll see. Hello, Neozoid. Still waiting for the reveal. You know what I'm referring to. I have no idea what you're referring to, but welcome back. Let's put a frog in there. Okay, let's see what this does. Maybe this will be more interesting. Oh, I should probably put the training dummy back on. Let's see, training dummy, boom. Let's check it out. See how this goes. So we're gonna put the ceremonial dagger and the frog here. Cool, I think that makes sense. Let's do, let's just do the frog by itself. I don't know what you're saying, Neozoid, I'm sorry. I'm completely lost. I am completely lost. Okay, let's see. 2. So it should do 2 and then 1. And then it will apply 2 again. 2, 1. Okay. So that just slows down the poison DPS a little bit, which should be good. We may turn up that turn duration too, but we can play with that number now. Okay, cool. All right, so let's see. I think that feels good. We're gonna need to reword the fire and... Let's see, do I have poison on here? Here. Put this in progress. Okay, in progress. We need to update the fire status text. Update fire description text. And then also... we changed the poison a little bit. It's So hopefully that will help a little bit. Reduce power of some of the cards that create runaway scaling. So I think what I need to do is I need to look for every place where I'm using fire. So shield on fire applied. That's probably okay. Ability builder dot fire. Apply 2 fire per adjacent ritual. Is that still going to be good? That might be a little bit strong. Let's just knock that down to 1. Let's knock that down to 1. Apply fire to both enemy and self per adjacent card with heal. Right, so this base fire, this should probably go down a little bit as well. We're just knocking this fire value down a little bit. Applies per allied card that applies fire. This one, maybe we'll knock that down a little bit as well. Okay, so I think we're good with that, and then I need to go to my ability builder and just see where this fire is used. So aberration, that's fine. Projected fire, we'll knock this down to 2. Candle, fire 2, we'll keep it there. Explosive flask. We can keep the grimoire fire there, that's fine. Project fire on the imp, we'll knock that down. Phoenix, we'll knock that one down as well. Salamander, refire, skeleton dragon, that's 16 fire. Let's do 12 instead. Actually, maybe we'll keep it 16, why not? Fire mage, we're gonna knock this one down to 4. Torch, we'll knock that one down to 3. Wyvern hatchling, this one we will knock down to 5. Okay. Those are all just guesswork numbers, but since the fire is a lot more powerful now, we just got to reduce the power across the board. And so now let's see what happens. So do 4 fire instead. Okay, so that might still be a little bit strong, but let's see. Now fire might be a little bit too powerful. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, it's still a little bit too powerful. How does fire work now? Each application of fire lasts for 20 turns. Fire status. And every 5 turns, it will deal damage equal to the fire stacks. So that's just how it works now. I may tweak that a little bit more, but I also might turn down this turn duration. This one is going to have the same problem though as the poison, where maybe I just need to turn this down to turn this down to 3 as well. We tick the entries here. Yeah, maybe that's more appropriate. I mean, it's the same as a poison now, and then it has three ticks before it goes away, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay. That opens up the possibility for an artifact that increases how long the stacks remain. Yes, absolutely, yeah. Have you got me? I was in lurk mode. No, I don't. I still don't know what you're talking about, Neozoid. So it still seems a little bit strong. I suppose that could be fixed by just knocking the fire damage down even more. So let's see. Explosive Flask probably needs to come down. Fire Arrow will keep that, I suppose. Funeral Pyre will keep that. Imp, probably good. Phoenix is probably okay. I think the Skeleton Mage needs to come down to like 2. And then the Candle, we'll knock that down to 1. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Yeah, I still don't know what you're talking about, Neozoid. I'm completely lost. I'm not going to keep trying to guess. I think it's fine for fire and poison to be very similar for ticks. Fire should be able to gain more stacks than poison, though, since it competes against the shield where poison doesn't. Yeah, I think that's good. So 2. So if I just apply 2 poison, or 2 fire, that means that what's going to happen is, if all I do is apply 2 fire, it's going to tick 3 times, so that's going to deal 6 damage. Okay, that seems a little bit more reasonable. And I've got the Imp now, or the Salamander, I mean. So put the Salamander over there. Let's just do some alchemy here. Fiance on stream, I told you, you told you'll do it. Oh, I see. I don't have a fiance anymore though. So I cannot fulfill that promise, I'm sorry. Apply 2 poison, it doesn't matter. I just need this residue. I haven't tried this in a while. What happens if I do this? I'm pretty sure the way that I program this health spawn egg is that it will, yeah, the imp will retain anything that you've alchemized onto this egg. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I guess we'll see what happens. So now I've got the Salamander and the Fire Mage. Let's see how this goes. Nice. Very cool, very cool. Okay, I think fire's probably in a better spot now. So it's just a consistent like damage over time until it just burns out. So it doesn't decay at all. And it allows you to like front load your fire too. So it's a little bit of a ramp up, but you could front load it and get like massive amounts of long-term damage, which is good. Whereas poison is like, it decays, so you're not going to get as much, well, you'll still get a lot of damage out of it, but I think that makes sense. I want to see how this egg works. I haven't tested this in a while. What happened? Oh, if you could tell us what happened. Oh, no, nothing bad. I'm married to her now, so she's my wife now. No longer fiance. But yeah, I'm sure she'll make an appearance one of these streams. Oh yeah, look at that. The imp now applies all that poison. So anything that I alchemize onto the egg gets carried over to the imp. That's cool. All right. Very cool, very cool, very cool. So I think that makes sense. We need to rewrite the ability explanations for the poison and fire now. Every 5 turns, each application of fire expires after 3 executions. Something like that. I don't know. Can be affected by critical modifiers. And then poison. I think this is every 3 turns. Each application of poison is by 1 each execution and lasts for a maximum and expires after 3 executions. Okay, something like that. Wow, what a surprise. I didn't expect that when it happened. Just recently, a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, it's a new thing. Ability explanations. Okay, so we just updated the explanations here. Probably could be a little bit clearer, but that's all right. Okay, so nerf fire across the board. I have other balancing things to look at here. Let's see. I thought I added these. Let's see. Language pass. Reduce power of some of the cards that create runaway scaling. Oh, I didn't put the card list in here. I think the rat probably needs to be changed. The one that copies poison abilities. So the rat is, yeah, the rat is a little bit of a problem. Yeah, your rat is gonna get killed. 4-star Yelp review. Thank you, Diozoid. Don't change the rat. So the rat probably needs to change. I think the staff, the skull staff, this one probably needs to be changed. Yep, the rat is one of the best cards in the game. So I don't know if I necessarily want to... Let me go to the rat here. Copies the poison abilities of up to. So I think one of the things that makes it strong is that it copies more poison abilities. It copies more poison abilities for every tier. So one way to nerf that is just to have it copy, instead of copying all of the poison abilities from adjacent cards, it could copy X number of abilities from adjacent cards. So if it's tier 2, instead of copying all of the abilities from 2 cards, it could just copy 2 abilities from one of the cards, right? That would be a way to change that. The other thing to do could be to just not have that particular ability scale, the copy ability scale. So it can copy all of the poison abilities of one card and then give it some other behavior. Another way to potentially... Well, I was going to say another way to potentially rein it in is to reduce this from all adjacent cards to only like left adjacent or something. But I think maybe just having it copy a certain number of poison abilities would bring it in reasonably. So instead of just doing a blanket copy of everything. Now the question is, how do I actually do that? Son of a bee, yeah. Always has been. Though Scarecrow beats it out easily. Yeah, I think so. Let's just change this. And we might change the Scarecrow as well to be similar. Let me think. How do I want to do this? So really, I need to put like a limit on this. I don't really like this here. I'm going to take this out. We're going to move to the new composed ability way of doing things. Const int. We'll remove the limit here actually. And then we'll do var ability limit is equal to, or let's do const int base ability limit is equal to 1. Var copy ability is equal to new copy ability. Return new ability builder.ability configuration. Additional ability explanations is equal to ability explanations dot poison. Abilities is equal to query target provider copy ability. I will worry about copying this over. Copies. So yeah, I need to somehow provide in here ability value provider int ability limit provider, make that null. Var abilities to take is equal to, let's do ability limit provider here. Private, read only. This dot ability limit provider is equal to ability limit provider. Ability limit provider not equal to null. Actually, let's just do ability limit provider get value. Taken abilities plus plus. If taken abilities is equal to abilities to take, then we're just going to break out. So as soon as we grab all of the number of abilities that we're going to get, we'll break out of that. And so now what I can do is I can do a var limit provider is equal to new value scalar source provider, new generic value provider int, and we'll do, let's see, var current ability limit is equal to 1, or base ability limit, I guess. Okay, so we've got the limit provider. We'll pass that in here. And then, what am I missing here? Scaling func is equal to tier. Scalar, make additive scalar, current ability limit is equal to that. Okay, copies. up to current ability limit, poison, description utils dot pluralize, current ability limit, ability, abilities. Okay. Copies up to poison abilities of adjacent cards. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Cool. I think that will work, but we're going to have to check that out. Of course. The ability does technically scale even if the number of cards copied doesn't go up because the abilities number scale on the rats. Right, that's true too. Yeah. There is something weird I encountered. In my game, a dictionary is changed in a place and the change didn't affect all of its references. I'm sure I didn't duplicate it somewhere in the code. I feel like it's a core issue in the engine. A dictionary is changed in place and that change didn't affect all of its references. Yeah, I mean, if that's true, then there may be something going on under the hood, maybe the way that dictionaries are passed around. But it's hard to say. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, there's probably something that you're overlooking, like maybe you're reassigning something that you shouldn't have been. If you've got like sub dictionaries within your dictionary and you reassign that, I don't know. No, maybe that should work. Yeah, I don't know. I would just double check. Make sure that you're not doing anything like a reassignment that's breaking a reference or something. Or you're assigning... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it should be passed by reference. It should be. Copies the poison abilities. What? Oh, I forgot to switch this over. Oops. This needs to be composed in here. It should be, yeah, it should be. Okay. Copies up to one poison ability of adjacent cards. So we'll nerf the rat, probably apply the same thing to the scarecrow. Okay. So yeah, that is true that the rat, when it's scaled, it also scales the poison abilities. Rat applied 2 poison. Awesome. Okay, so that seems to be working. Let's put the ceremonial dagger here now. Copied from ceremonial dagger. Now, why is it copying both abilities? That's not right. That is not right. Copy ability. If taken abilities is equal to abilities to take. Oh, it's just breaking out of this. Right, I need to break out of the outer loop as well. I guess I could have probably just used a return there. but that's right. Doesn't matter. So this, if I put this here, that should copy the ceremonial dagger, but then if I put this here, it should copy the frog. Now the thing is, it's not super clear what order it's being copied in. It is a predictable order. It just may not be predictable in a way that the player wants it to be predictable. I think, let me look at the card to sequential order, or the board inventory component cell to sequential. Right, so the way that it's ordering the cells is this is cell 0, this is cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4, so on and so forth. So it goes down the column like so. And that affects the turn order of the card, but it also affects how things like this ability are choosing which cards to copy. So basically the way that the rat is going to work is it's going to try to copy the ability from this part first. Or no, it's going to try to copy the ability from here first. I can actually test that. So if I put that here, and I put this here, it's going to copy from... No, it copied from the ceremonial dagger. How does that make sense? Oh. No. How is that actually working? Spent a lot of time trying to turn squids into 1x1 cards to have as many my rats as possible. Yeah. Is this not being ordered? Target provider get targets. Is this not being ordered in any particular way? That would be a problem. If query options.order by random, else, do I need to add ordering in here? Order cards by priority result. Is this result a list or a hash set? No, it's a hash set. So that doesn't make any sense. Why? Oh, I should be using a hash set there. Let's change this to accumulated result. And then we'll do list base card final result. This query result, yeah. So we're gonna do final result is equal to that. Otherwise, final result is equal to this. So that should guarantee the ordering. That's probably gonna have some ramifications for the rest of the game, but it's important that the cards are queried in a predictable order. So I definitely want that to be the case. So now if I do this, what I should see is that if I put the frog here and the ceremonial dagger here, it should be copying from frog. If I remove the frog, it will copy from ceremonial dagger. And if I move the frog over here, it should be copying from ceremonial dagger as well. Yeah. So basically it's gonna, the way that the search works is it's basically like, it selects, I guess, the card that's available in the left column, and then it will select the card that's available here in this column, and then any cards available in this column, and then any cards available in this column. I wonder if there's a way to make that apparent to the player, but anyway, it's going to be more predictable now, I think. So even if the frog was down here, it would copy from the frog. Yeah. Well, I'm getting the enchant that makes it affect the entire board instead of just adjacent. Basically enables the plague, yeah. What card does that come from? Oh, the enchant. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so there's an enchant. It's worded a little bit kind of weirdly, but that's all right. Okay, so we've done some changes to the poison. We've changed the rat. Scarecrow probably needs to be changed in the same way, but I think I can remove copy adjacent poison now. Yeah, so let's remove that. Okay, so nerf rat. And then the Scarecrow is going to need to basically be the same thing. So maybe we'll just nerf that really quick too, because it's basically going to be the same exact thing. So I'm just going to copy this, paste this here. I think it was adjacent, right? I don't need a filter here, so we'll get rid of that. We got the limit provider, current ability limit. Okay, let's go ahead and just add the Scarecrow now. I should probably also make sure that the upgrade is working. Run manager, populate player cards, var card in starting cards, card.increment tier. Is there a way to set the stability of a card to something other than the cell count? These copy cards may need to have low stability to make up for the unlimited abilities you can have without negatives. The stability system works only based on the base card abilities. So the stability system is not influenced by abilities that come from artifacts, abilities that come from projected abilities, and it doesn't come from abilities that are copied. So the stability only works off of the abilities that are guaranteed to the card. In other words, any ability that is going to be always present on the card, regardless of like if it's copying an ability or whatever else, right? So I think the stability system already kind of handles that. Now the idea of actually changing like a card stability under the hood so that you don't have so many negatives on it, I think, yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Ah, the Scarecrow doesn't fit. Or the Scarecrow did fit. Something else didn't fit. Anyway, let's get rid of the Medusa head and the Hellspawn egg. Nope, that's not working. What am I missing? Oh. Oops, had the custom filter in place still. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So this is copying abilities and applying the scaling to those abilities as well. Cool. I was wondering if you can set them to a stability of 1 so cards with the copy ability incur negatives during alchemy more easily compared to normal cards. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, I could override that for sure. Hello, Courier Games. I don't read that language, but welcome. Okay, we nerfed the Scarecrow. We did it. We have the technology. We have the technology. All right, let's take a look at what other things we can do here. So I think that's done. I think fire is working. What are some other cards in Ninja Link that are obscenely powerful? Actually, I can probably pull up the document that you had. I won't show it on stream, but it's pinned in the Discord for anyone that may want to take a look at it. I think it's pinned in the Alchemortis feedback channel. Yeah. Oh, the zombie is a bad offender as well. Mausoleum Key is an S tier defense card. Oh, Konnichiwa, gotcha. Let's see. Get back my zombie and snail cat. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at zombie. So I forgot exactly what the zombie does. If there's an adjacent alchemical card, gain critical chance and 100x critical multiplier. Base critical chance, base critical multiplier. Oh, it gains 1.5 crit multiplier. Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Well, one obvious way to bring this a little bit down is just not to give it both. So I could give it either critical multiplier or critical chance. Does the zombie have any innate critical chance? It has a critical chance of 5%. So yeah, I could just remove one of those. Or I can make the critical chance and critical multiplier scale based on the number of alchemical cards that are adjacent. That might also work as well. Yeah, what do we want to do here? Any thoughts? I'm kind of leaning towards just removing. There's not a whole lot of critical multiplier modifiers in the game. So I wonder if I just remove the critical chance. So it can only buff the multiplier, but then we might just bump up this critical chance a little bit to maybe 10% or something. Because then this will still be really useful in alchemy, because you could take this ability, which modifies the multiplier, and put it on something with a high crit chance. I think maybe that's the way to go. That should knock it down a couple of pegs, right? Oh, it'd be fine as an ability that doesn't scale. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Let's just get rid of the scaling then. So I got the zombie here. There's an adjacent alchemical card, gain 50% critical chance and 1.5x critical multiplier. Yeah, we'll try that. I think that's a good enough nerf for now. Okay. All right, so what's so strong about Snailcat? What is this about Snailcat that I keep hearing about? Oh, it scales off of all alchemical cards. The cooldown reduce scales turns into 1 turn card so easily. Right, but what we also have to keep in mind is I've changed the alchemy now. The alchemy no longer randomizes the turn cooldown. So you can no longer get a Snailcat that has like a really low turn cooldown through alchemy. And this has a turn cooldown of 11. I might just bump this up to 12 just slightly. And then the other thing I might do with Snailcat here is instead of increasing the status stacks for all alchemical cards, what I may do is I may just do a more interesting query pattern here. Maybe we'll just do like a top. Or no, let's just do query directions up. Let's try that. It's very easy to upgrade cards. It's not hard to get the ability to reduce the turn cooldown to like 9 or 10. Oh, I see. Oh, does that ability scale? Turn cooldown is reduced by 4 if this card... Oh, maybe I could just make that a non-scaling ability too, or I could knock it down. Yeah, let's just knock this down. So we'll leave it scaling, but it just will start with a lower turn cooldown reduction. Increases enemies' current status stacks by 1 for each allied alchemical card. I need to force singular on that. I kind of like this though. Like I have a number of ways of just tweaking this. Like I didn't really fundamentally change this too much. Just tweak some numbers and then change the query pattern as well. I have a frog here. So yeah, I changed the query pattern. So now if I do this and I put the frog here, that will target that. Oh, I have an issue in my game related to screen tearing. Do you have any idea how I might solve that? Yeah, VSync is the cause of tearing usually. Or no. No, it's not. Tearing is usually present without VSync. That's kind of like the whole purpose of VSync is to prevent the screen tearing. So if turning off VSync fixes that, that's kind of weird. Anyway, how do we feel about the Snailcat? So I increased the base turn cooldown of Snailcat. I changed the querying so it only targets alchemical cards above instead of alchemical cards on the entire board. And I reduced this turn cooldown reduction. This will still scale, but it's a little bit harder now. I think that's fine. We'll see. Also, can we talk about cameras in Godot for a sec? In my game, I had the camera attached to the player scene because it felt the best. Yeah, don't do that. That's my recommendation. Don't do that. Any more Godot courses in the works? No, not right now. We'll see how Alchemortis does. Maybe in the future, but honestly, ideally, I would never make a Godot Udemy course again because I would be making enough money from my games, but we'll see. We'll see. Welcome back, Austin, by the way. I think you've been here before, but welcome to the stream if not. But I try to detach it from the player and now it looks jank. Yeah, I don't know what looks jank means. Like, what exactly is not working about it? Nerf snail cat. Okay. Also taking your courses. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about these changes, so I'm gonna go ahead and merge those back into my master branch here. I hope this doesn't break Godot. I'm just gonna close Godot. It doesn't like when I do stuff. Okay, that feels pretty good. Get some of those balance tweaks in place. Oh, the other thing that I want to do is I want to change shield. Shield right now lasts indefinitely. Not indefinitely, technically it lasts 9,999 turns. But I think I might change this. I think that's good. I think that's good. So let's try this. I have similar goals, aspirations to do this full time, but currently work as an Angular developer. I suck at art as my largest hurdle. Yeah, art, it takes a while to develop that skill for sure. It's definitely quite a learning curve. I think an issue of a disconnect between the player and the camera as I'm lerping like so. Smoothing speeds up, but it looks jittery or makes other objects in the game look jittery. Should I have a camera that follows the player be in process or physics process? I think process is fine. But do you have like snap 2D transforms to pixel enabled as well? I think camera jitter is just definitely a problem with Godot generally speaking. But yeah, attaching the camera to the player is not a good solution either. Hello, Jackie Daytona. Welcome back. Yeah, buying art. The other problem with buying art too is that it's just like you're never gonna quite get what you want if you have any sort of like vision for the game. So you kind of just have to, unless you want to just blow a bunch of money trying to get your artist to do exactly what you want. A lot of times it's easier just to learn how to do the basics of art yourself. And that is incredibly useful. It's incredibly freeing because then you don't have to worry about doing that stuff. It's like whenever you need an art asset, you can just create it yourself, you know? Finding cohesive packs is hard. That's true. That is very true. I got very lucky in that the pack I bought was incredible and never feel limited by it. There are some pretty good packs on itch.io. Alright, let's see if this works. So, shield will now decay after 20 turns. Oh, I guess I can't really test this. Putting the training dummy back. Hello, Viley. I'm a beginner game dev. I've been making an inventory system for my game, and holy, it's way harder than I thought. I've been working on it for multiple days. Yeah, inventory is hard. Inventory is very hard. getting all the edge cases to work very nicely in a way that's like not gonna break everything is, yeah, it's a little bit difficult. Okay, so shield now has a cap in terms of how long it lasts. So I think that's going to help. That's going to prevent it from being too easy to acquire like 100 shield. Cool. All right, that should work. Cool. All right. We're getting everything in shape here. Shout out to the Dokimon pack. If anyone wants to make a monster tamer, usually build the game around the pack. Yeah. It could be an interesting exercise to use the pack as like a sort of limitation where you just say, I'm just going to use whatever art is in this pack and that's all I'm allowed to use. I write notes on what I plan to do and keep writing stuff like finish inventory system today and never do. Yeah, well, especially if you're new to game development or you're working on hard systems, I don't know if it's realistic necessarily to put like a timeline on it because like if it takes you longer than a day to understand fundamentally how to build an inventory system, then putting a timeline on yourself, like I need to finish it today, is a little bit unreasonable. I mean, you'll notice that on my board, I don't attach any timelines to any of this stuff. I just say, here's the task that I want to complete. And if it takes 5 minutes or 5 hours, it's like, it doesn't really matter. The goal is just to complete the task and obviously to do it in a reasonable amount of time. But yeah, I don't make any expectations on any of these chunks of work as to how long they're going to take. My dream is to get a game on a Nintendo console. That would be fun. Timelines of the animated developer. They can be helpful. I mean, again, they act as a constraint, but I don't think that they should necessarily constrain the features that you're building. I think that deadlines and timelines should constrain which features you decide to build. So I wouldn't necessarily say like, oh, this feature needs to be done as quick as possible. It's still probably a good idea to build the feature in a way that's like robust and sensible with your code base. But having a deadline for yourself can help you focus in on which features need to be built. Otherwise, it becomes kind of easy to just add a bunch of stuff willy-nilly. So having some kind of pressure to make good decisions about what you work on and what you don't work on is good. Okay, I'm just going to call that done for now. I'm sure there will be more balance changes to come along. We solve this problem of large cards are not super appealing to take because they offer more residue than everything else. I wonder if changing this to just like, I have this like having a flat residue reward. We also want to do left mouse to quick move and purchase and right mouse button to inspect. Fix Venom description to say, okay. We could add this innate tag to abilities that are not alchemizable. That's done. All right, maybe we'll do some new content here. Maybe we'll do another card. Look at my card inspection. Well, let me see. I don't think we have a lot. We don't have a lot of shield cards. Actually, you know what? I've been wanting to do this for a while. Let's update the card inspection tool to support filtering by ability. This is something that I'm going to need. Like, I'm feeling the need for this now because I have no way of, like, getting a sense for, like, how many shield abilities there are in the game and so on and so forth. So we're going to do that. Except that time isn't real. I have a problem with getting distracted and stopping working on my game. I figured it would be helpful if I have a goal to complete it in a day. I guess it could help. 80-20 rule, 80% of the task takes 80% of the time. The remaining 20% takes the other 80% of the time, yeah. Kanban is so good. Welcome, Code Red. Good to see you again. Missed the start of the bonus stream. What are we working on? I was just tweaking some things, bringing some of the balance of some of the stronger cards in line. Obviously going to need to do some playtesting on that, but we'll see. Growth as a dev is coming to terms with simple things actually being way more complicated than you'd ever expect. Yeah. I've tried to remove the words simple and easy from my vocab. My favorite word to use is straightforward. That's my favorite one to use. Did the YouTube hiccup or something? Did something happen? Interesting. Gets to the point where it feels wrong to get something done quickly, right? What's the Obsidian plugin for that to-do list? Yeah, it's Kanban. Just search Kanban and you'll find it. Would a building card make sense? Because work as a shield, so to speak, like a mill? Yeah, buildings make sense. I even have one for the player, which you may not have seen. The Witch Hut. So the Witch Hut is a building kind of card. It does not offer shield, but it is a building. Hello, Bubblegum Lord. Welcome back. All right, so we're going to edit this card inspection tool to have filtering options based on ability types. YouTube seems to hiccup for me occasionally. I thought it was just my connection, though. Yeah, interesting. Okay. YouTube. What is this company doing? Anyway, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break. I'll be right back, and then we'll work on this card inspection tool. All right, let's work on some tools. Tools are fun. All right, so we're gonna want it's probably gonna have to be a list like this again, if I am thinking about this correctly. So what I may do is I may actually pull this out and put this here. Add another VBox container. Put the tag list here. Move this VBox container down. And then let's do another tag list here. This will actually just be the ability list. Actually, I guess I probably didn't need to do that. It's probably a little bit excessive. I could probably just do this. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we can just do that. Okay, so the ability list here. Let me just edit this items in here. We're gonna do fire, reserve, so on and so forth. All right, so let's go ahead and set up the ability list. So we've got setup tag list, private void setup ability list. Okay. Let's grab that item list. Just trying to think of how I want to do this. Set up ability list. So let's do type ability types is equal to type of fire, type of poison, type of heal, type of shield, type of, let's do buff applicator. Does this work? Oh. Well, I'll probably need to do like a mischance debuff, type of crit chance buff, type of paralysis debuff, type of exhaust debuff, fire poison heal shield, type of, what else do I have? Holy. Oh, how could I forget damage? Is that everything? Oh, Echo is a good one. So unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to list out all of like the distinct ability types that I have in here. Type of self-critical chance modification, type of self-critical multiplier modification, type of, what else am I missing? Did I get fire? Let's do a little bit more sensible ordering here. Okay. What else do I have? I guess I can look at my ability builder and just see what the most common types of abilities are here. Outline, let's see. Damage. Oh, damage shield. Let's do damage shield. True damage. Poison, fire, bleed. Oh, bleed is one I need, right. Bleed. So that's another one that I need. Conditional damage, projectability. We could probably do ability projector. Speed. Oh, speed, swarm, yeah. Swarm, speed, blind, confuse. Type of swarm. decorator, type of speed. Oh wait, I already have the mischance debuff, right? Oh, confuse, right. All right, so maybe that'll work. Card inspection tool, yeah. Can you use the inspector doc to set variables when you use C#? Yeah, any variable that's exported can be set through through the editor like any normal exported variable. So yeah, it works for sure. Type sheet, yeah. Okay. So for each var ability type and ability types, ability list add item, and then I probably need to card index to tag. Ability list dot multi selected plus equals on ability list multi selected. Private void on ability list multi selected long index. Okay. Private read only dictionary int type ability index to type. Whatever, just do this. Okay. On ability list multi-selected, so we need to add this to the filters. So current filter options. Let's do public selected abilities. That should work. For each of our selected index and ability list get selected items. We'll do this. Let's do var. Actually, let's do list type selected abilities types. Selected ability types dot add ability type. Selected abilities is equal to this. And then apply filters, current filter options. Cool. So now we go to apply filters here. Card IDs, faction index equals 1. Filter option selected tags has value. If filter options selected abilities, we'll set this equal to an empty array by default. Get all flattened abilities dot any x dot get type is equal to. This is going to be a little bit messy, but we'll do x filter options dot selected abilities that contains x dot get type. What do I want to do here? We want to continue here if the card has none of the abilities. So if the ability's length is greater than 0 and the card has none of the selected ability types, then we'll continue out of there. Let's see what happens. Hello, Clickertail, welcome back. The dictionary was received from an RPC call from another device, so it has the same values but not the same reference. Oh yeah, yep. Yep, that makes sense. Oh, that's not working. So those buff applicators are not the best, but if we do fire, that did not work at all. That's cool. Is it that excluding all the fire abilities? Did I do my logic wrong again? So we're getting all of the flattened abilities, and we're saying if there aren't any abilities where the ability type is contained by the selected abilities, maybe has ability of type. Oh wait, that's not gonna work. Oh wait, oh yeah, I'm doing this wrong. This needs to be right. So has ability. Okay. Get all flattened abilities. Any contains. This needs to be X. No, that's not right. What the heck? If we have selected abilities and none of the filter options are contained within the card. Card has ability of type. Am I doing this logic wrong? Why is this not working? What? What is going on here? Did I not put this, did I not initialize this correctly? Selected ability types that add. Apply filters, current filter options. Am I doing something wrong here? If there are no filter options where the card has the ability of type. Continue. What the heck? Okay, well, I guess we'll put a breakpoint here. Actually, let's do this. Launch scene, show in file system. Copy path. We have to edit this configuration. Card inspection tool. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I'm going to select fire. Boom. Oh, so I select the first one and it's saying that it's a damage type. What? Oh. Oops. I know what's happening. I forgot to clear it from the default values. Oops. Ability list dot clear. I just have some default values in here to just make it look nice, I guess, to give an indication of what that list is actually for in the editor, but I wasn't clearing it. So when I was selecting the first index, the text did not align with what was actually being selected. Right, okay, so now if I do damage, here we go. All right, now we're filtering. Now we're filtering. So I can see all my fire cards, I can see all my poison cards. So shield, I don't have a whole lot of shielding cards, especially if I just do ally cards only. So definitely need more shield cards. We have no allied holy cards, this makes sense. We have only one ally echo card, interesting. Oh wait, no. It's not accounting for projected abilities either. I wonder if I can make it account for projected, but I can do this. I could do ability projector. So I wonder if I could change that. Can I make it look at the projected abilities as well? I guess I could. Let's see. That would make more sense for the purpose of this tool. So let's do this. Var flattened abilities is equal to base card. What is this doing? Get out of here. Dot get all flattened abilities. And then we're going to do flattened abilities is equal to Actually, this might be a little bit tricky. Actually, I guess not. Flattened abilities that of type project ability projector. Dot select many x dot get. Oh, I need to be able to select the projected ability from here. That's not going to be great. Here's what I'll do. Get projected ability for tool. So I just know not to use that anywhere else. What the heck? Okay, so I'm basically just reaching into the ability projector there. I don't know, let's see if that works. We'll have to see. Are bosses in this game cards or AI using cards? There's no AI, it's like, it's an auto battler, so they're just cards, and there's no AI, it's just a straightforward execution of all the cards. The only AI is really what the initial board configuration is, but yeah, you don't really play cards, so... Echo. Okay, there we go. So now we can see that I can reach into the projected abilities of cards now and see which ones project echo. So we only have 2 echo cards for the player. We've got a good number of bleed cards. I can see just specifically which cards have projections. Swarm, I've only got a couple of swarm cards. Speed, only got a couple of speed cards. And then these buff applicators, these are going to be a problem. I'm going to need to rename those for sure. But it looks like I only have 1 card that applies blind. So we could use some more blind cards. Self-critical chance, self-critical multiplier, yeah. So we're missing quite a few things. We only have 1 shield one ability that specifically damages shielding. So I could do damage minions. So these are all my minions with damage capabilities. Alchemical exact tags. So what are my minions with the alchemical and minion tag that also deal damage? So that should work. Cool. Hello, Chris. Good afternoon to you as well. All right, this is going to be very useful. Let me rename these buff applicators, though. So let's do inside of here. Let's do string get type name type. Can I do type switch and then type of buff applicator? Does that not work? So let's just do, oops, return type.name. Let me try something real quick. Hold on a second. Okay. I have a wireless mouse and it's like hitching sometimes. Can't tell if it's because I have it plugged into like a little USB hub or if it's something else. Anyway. So we're going to return type.name by default, but then we'll say if type is equal to type of buff applicator mischance, we'll do blind, critical chance. I'll just call it crit chance for the sake of brevity here. Paralysis. Okay. Let's see what that does. What is speed? Speed is turn cooldown reduction. So it's like the corpse pile. So if I go to speed here we go. So we can do crit chance. Crit chance paralysis. But anyway, so if I go to speed here, yeah, reduces the remaining turns of minions or whatever. Reduces the remaining turns of a card on your board. That's what speed is. How do you find cards that have no specific ability type, such as the bell? That's a good question. Here, I'll add a none of the above option. Actually, how's that gonna work? Yeah, we could just do, maybe we can do a null option in here or whatever. And I will say if type equals null, we'll just call this return unspecified. And then we'll have to see I guess I'll probably have to do this. Private type, filterable ability types. So I'll put this up here. And then I guess we'll have to go down here. If ability equals null, we'll do one thing, otherwise return that. Return flattened abilities dot all not filter ability types dot contains. Oh wait, no. Yeah, this would be dot any. See if that works. I am speed. So I do unspecified ally. That didn't work. Oh, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not going to work. I don't know. That's a good question. How am I going to filter by abilities that are unspecified? I think I need to do this instead of doing a whole list of flattened abilities. I think I need to do this by composed ability here. So let's rework this a little bit. Probably going to have to do something like this, actually. So we'll go step by step through all the abilities. Go to skip card? What the heck? Is that right? So we're going to go through, if we have ability filter selected, we'll iterate over all the cards' base composed ability. For each composed ability, we're going to get a list of its flattened abilities, which I believe is recursive. Then we're going to say if none of those flattened abilities are of the type that we're filtering, then we'll just continue. We will have to check. Yeah, we're going to have to check if there's a projected ability in here as well. I still don't know if this is going to work, but let's see. I just want to see if this is still going to work if I just do like healing. Ally. Okay, so that's still working. Now we need to introduce logic for if I have null selected. If is null selected and all ability not filterable ability types dot contains ability dot get type. Found ability equals true break. I don't know. Is that going to work? Let's see. Is this wrong? Hold on a second. No, it's not. It's looking through all the composed abilities, and if it didn't find any, it's making sure not to add that card to the list. Okay. Let's do unspecified. Boom. All right, is that working? So now for any ability that's not explicitly in the filter list, I could select unspecified, and that will, for example, show me the fungus. So this is an ability that I can't really filter on. Awards of fungus giganticus spore. Immune to paralysis, immune to exhaust, those are right. Copy ability. I could probably add copy ability to the filter list. But yeah, we're getting a bunch of reagents in here. Let's just do a minion. Minions with unspecified abilities. Cool. So now we got to get the projector working again though. So if I do echo here, I should be able to see the Banshee head. Composed ability, get all flattened abilities. So I think that would just be as simple as doing this again. Composed abilities. Actually, flattened abilities is equal to flattened abilities dot of type, ability projector, select many. I think that's right. Goodness gracious. It's just a tool. It doesn't need to be perfect. So if I do echo now, there we go. So now we could see if there's echo inside of a projected ability. And we can do the unspecified here. And that will let me see all of the things. Let's see what enemies have unspecified. Oh yeah, look at that. Cool. That works. Why did the cultist show up in the unspecified? Is it because the ritual tag projection isn't true projection, even if the keyword is used? Right. The cultist or the acolyte? The cultist here is here. Yeah, so I think you meant the acolyte. Yeah, so this is projecting the ritual tag. So basically the way that the filtering works is that it will look into the projected ability and it will see if the projected ability contains anything that I've selected here. So if I do healing, for example, I should see the morale, even though this has a projected ability, heal 2. So that's basically saying, oh, I have a projected ability. Let's get the list of abilities underneath that projected ability and see if it has heal within that projected ability. That's just for the purpose of the tool. It doesn't work that way in game because that heal ability is not innate to the card. But for the purposes of this tool, I want to be able to see like the totality of like everything that can apply heal. So yeah, but the reason why the acolyte appears in unspecified is because it's projecting something that is not filterable on. So I don't have a filter to say filter on tag application, right? So because that's not one of the filters in the list, it says that this is an unspecified ability. Those are all the cards in the game. This is approximately like 30% of the cards that I want to have in the game ultimately when it releases. So we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. So let's see if we can identify something. We don't have a whole lot of shielding, I don't think, for the ally. So more shield cards would be nice. We're a little light on fire cards. We've got enough poison. We don't have any echo. We have 2 echo cards. Bleed. We don't have many swarm cards either. We don't have many speed cards. We don't have many blind cards. So this is going to be good for like, so I might want to do a shield that also applies blind, right? And these are not exclusive filters, so anyway, shield or blind. Yeah, anyway. All right, that's cool. I think that's working pretty good. So yeah, we will just go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Okay. That tool is working. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and figure out a card that we can draw to start filling out some of the lacking capabilities in the game. It'd be kind of fun to draw a tree ant a little bit. Tombstone, Scourge. I'm thinking we need something with shielding. So let's think of a card we can draw that has shielding capabilities, and we'll add that to the game. That'll be a nice little fun thing to do for the stream. But I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will figure out what to draw. So put your suggestions in the chat if you have an idea for a thematically appropriate card that can apply shield and optionally blind. Go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll take a look at that. But I'll be right back in just a second, and we'll continue on. All right, I'm back. Yay, new card, maybe Gargoyle, but also Treant also works. Blind and Shield in one card, maybe a Mirror Shield. That's an interesting one. Mirror Shield is very cool. Smoke Bomb makes me think of OOT, Ocarina of Time. Is that what that is? Or maybe an Idol of a Dark God. I do have Idol written down here. So it heals you and blinds the enemy. Yeah, I mean, blind is kind of optional. We need more shielding, generally speaking. Already in the game, but here's some shield card ideas. Buckler, Housecrest Shield, Chainmail, Greaves, Curious. Those are good ideas. Those would be more appropriate as enemy faction cards, though. But I like the idea. Do I have like a Buckler? Buckler, Chainmail. I'm new here. Can you show the game? I'll show it just as I'm streaming. But you can check out the Steam page, Nothing, if you're interested in seeing what the game is about. It's linked below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. Holy Water. I have Unholy Water in the game. Let's take a look at Shield. So yeah, an Idol would work. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So an Idol would work for sure. This is going to be great for seeing what sizes are available too. So if I look at my ally shield, what I can notice is that we've got two 2x2 cards that apply shield. We've got one 2x1, and we've got one 1x2. I think a 1x2 is probably going to be a good one for an Idol. But the problem is I don't know if I'm going to have enough space to draw it properly. I guess we'll try it. We'll just see how it works. And if it doesn't work, we will reevaluate. Card creation tool, Idol, 1x2, create that. We'll open up Sprite. So go to open file, assets, card, Idol. Where is that Idol? Okay, load default palette. Create a new layer. Boom. Probably my favorite Zelda. I have never played a Zelda game. Sorry to say. I mean, maybe I played it once or twice at a friend's house, but... Talisman. Oh, a talisman's a good idea. That tool to see all your cards is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's very helpful. Tombstone is good. A 1x3. Oh, yeah. I don't have many 1x3 cards, actually. I don't have many 1x3 cards. But let's see. Let's just see how this goes really quick. The thing I'm worried about is the horizontal space, because the idea that I have for the Idol, and maybe this is just not going to work, but the idea I had for the Idol is like, we could do like something with, yeah, this is probably not going to work. We'll just get the rough shape down. I was going to do like multiple arms coming out. Maybe I can still do that. I just have to curl these up a little bit. Something like this. Actually, this may end up working just fine. Now the legs are going to be a problem. Now the legs are going to be a problem. Well, if you can't draw legs, then just do something like this, I guess. This part is going to be a problem. I can move these arms out a little bit, maybe. Something like that might work. Obviously, we got to do a little bit of work to get this looking good. Okay. Yeah, this could work. Never played Zelda, I feel offended. Can't wait to play the game. Thank you, Nothing. I appreciate that. Thank you. Give it a wish list if you're interested. That would help me out a lot. I think the Undertaker has copyright on the tombstone. How about an octopus that takes damage as a shield instead of you? That could work, yeah. An octopus. I have some deep sea creatures already in the game, so that would definitely not be out of character. Oh boy, this is going to be the hard part. We're just going to get some rough shading in place right now. Get some rough shading in place, and then we'll figure out how exactly this needs to look in a second. Okay, so that's part one. Okay. All right, we might be able to get this to look decent here, and just with just a little bit of effort here. We might be able to get this to look decent enough. Something like that. And then we can add little spots where the patterns are broken up a little bit, so we don't have such uniformity. Okay. We could even go a step further and just pepper some of these around to darken certain spots up. That would probably work. I wonder if I should go a little bit harder on the shading over here. No, that's not going to look that great. I think that's better. Yeah, that looks a little bit more decent. Mm-hmm. And then if we pepper some of these around. Well, I mean, it's all right, I suppose. Oh, I like that better. I think that's fine. Disco ball. Any plans for stuff bigger than 3x3? Learn about dolmens recently. There are these giant stone tombs. That could be a cool idea. No, I think 3x3 is the max, because the problem with going beyond 3x3 is, like, for example, the cell board is only a 3x3 area. And so if I went larger than 3x3, that would I would have to redesign that whole system. Which, I mean, everything's possible, right? But that would just be a little bit too much. And 3x3 cards are huge anyway. Like, your board only starts off at 4x4, and you have to unlock the cells to get more space. So 3x3s already take up a huge amount of space too, so I'm not... Yeah, I don't think it's super necessary to go beyond 3x3, but, you know, it could be interesting. Could be interesting. I won't say no, but yeah, I just gotta... Gotta be careful with that, that's all. I think that's decent. I mean, it looks like an idol to me, especially if I zoom out. Crystal ball, maybe? Yeah, crystal ball is a good idea. She whipped that idol real quick. Yeah, I'm happy. To me, the four arms look like a double helix surrounding a core of some sort. Not that it looks bad or anything. I saw you using C#. Why don't you use GDScript? Isn't it similar? Isn't it simpler? In some ways, yes. 1 second. In some ways, GDScript is simpler, but in other ways it's not. So, for example, I don't think it would be simpler to build the systems that I'm building for Alchemortis using GDScript. I think that would be much harder, actually. I'm hella impressed at how quickly you could churn art out. Thank you. You gotta pin this C# question or make a bot for it. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's okay. I don't mind answering it. Okay. So we've got the idol. So let's go ahead and outline it. We'll just fill that in too, why not? Export that. All right, let's go to the idol now. So this is a 1x2 card. Let's give it a turn cooldown of... What is the Skull Tower? It has a turn cooldown of 11. It's a ritual. This is also going to be a ritual, but we can make it a relic too. We don't have a whole lot of relics for the player. Let's give it something. Let's give it like a 30% crit chance. Why not? Okay, so now we can go to the idle card here. Let's do ability builder, shield. Maybe we'll do 5. We could also do blind. Might as well. Int magnitude. $20. Oh, we need to configure as well. So not every card needs to have these super complex abilities. So I can just use the ability builder that I already have in place. But what do we want to make it target? Query options dot tag filter. Let's do card tag dot minion and card tag dot ritual. I don't think I have anything that applies to multiple card tags, so we could try that. Let's see what happens. Ah, look at that. To allied minion ritual cards. So I'm going to need to add some support for that multiple tags. Oh, to allied. This needs to be, oops. Query target provider dot query options dot query source board equals false. Query target provider dot query options dot query target board equals true. How do we feel about that? I mean, it's a very basic card. The art is not, you know, I think the art is serviceable for sure. Applies 5 preserve, 9 turn cooldown. It's got a 30% crit chance, so that's kind of interesting. 20% blinded. Blind is not affected by crit chance. So now we just got to fix that description. Let me commit this first. Initial work on idle. Okay. And then let's go ahead and fix that. Oh. Create card tag keyword. Interesting. Wait a minute. Where am I doing is lowercase? These are not used. I'm going to delete this. I'm going off on a tangent already. Okay, anyway. Is this always true? Okay. We're going to clean this up a little bit. Get rid of this is lowercase. If that's always true, then I'm just going to remove that. So now what I can do is var tag string tag.toString.toLower invariant. Return tag.split string.split. How do I do this? Oh, tag string.split, comma, dot select t dot does that not work? Let's see if that works. Although I'm gonna have to change all this now. This is technically not going to be accurate. So I'm going to need to handle the case where there's only 2 tags being applied or being targeted, and then 3 or more. Okay. Let's see what happens. Since it's an idle, maybe it should give shield based on allied minion count, like they're worshipping it. I know it's just a 1x2, and not every ability needs to be complicated. Yeah, we could do that. A bubble shield to enemy minion and ritual cards. Now, is this going to apply to minions or rituals? That's a good question. Or is it going to apply to both? I think it's going to apply to both. Let me look at my query options. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's going to do both. So it's going to check for both. That's going to be a problem. So right now the way that it works is it's only gonna target things that have. Oh wait, no, maybe I'm wrong. Query options and. No, never mind. I don't think. If at least one of the tags is set, it's gonna be not 0. So I actually think this should be okay, but let's just check it anyway. That's a fun idea. Hello, Emerson. Welcome back. Good to see you. Dog and chicken. So those are minions. So we should be able to see if this is working. We should be able to see if this is working. So if I go here. Blinded by 20%. Blinded by 20%. Okay, that is indeed working. I currently don't have anything in the combat log that indicates that something has missed either, so that's kind of a problem. Friar, what is it targeting? Ritual cards? I think prayer beads are ritual cards, so let me... Minion ritual, yeah. Let's see if this works. Yep, it did work. Okay, cool. So it is working. So it's minion or ritual cards. Cool. So now we just need to fix the description here. Well, that's a little bit complicated, but that'll work. Okay. Let's see if that works. Yep, applies 20% blind to enemy minion and ritual cards for 1 execution. There we go. Look at that. So now, I think that's the first card where I'm doing multiple tag filters in one ability. Which is interesting, so I definitely need to use that more. Cool, I think that's a cool item. I don't have any complaints about that. So, finish idle abilities. Cool. Did you do all the art for this? Yes, I did. Yeah, all the art is done by me. What resolution are the sprites? Are they tile-based? The tiles are 18 by 18, and so every card art needs to fit within an 18 by 18 square, but that's the totality of the card art. So you'll notice that there's a couple of empty spaces around the edge of the art that I've drawn here. So basically, it needs to fit inside of the card with a 1 pixel black border separating it from the border of the card. So in reality, the area that I have for this card essentially is 12 by 30. The whole thing is 18 by 36, so it's 18 by 18 cells, 2 of them stacked, right? But when you get to the actual art, this is the drawable area. But yeah, I basically just chose a cell size that looked good on the screen on the 640 by 360 resolution, and then I just stuck with that as my standard. Cool. All right. I'm happy to have that done. Now, I do need to add the flavor text for it, but we'll go ahead and do that later. He's a pro artist. Well, I don't know if I'm quite there, but thank you, Emerson. I appreciate that. All right. Anyway, I think that'll be it for the stream today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for being here. Very productive streams today. And so we're just going to be doing this for the remainder of development. I'll be doing a bunch of like the broader systems, like the saving and loading system that we were working on today, but also just trying to sprinkle in as much new content creation as possible, because that is going to be part of like getting the game finished, is having a lot of content. So if I can add like 1 new card a day and development keeps going for, 5 months or whatever, that's, what is that? 180 cards? Did I do that right? No. 3 months? Yeah. No, 150 cards. 5 months times 30, whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, 150 cards. So it's going to be a good amount of content. How long have you been making your game? Since March of last year. So we're approaching 1 year of development on the game. Probably when the game is finished, it'll be closer to 1.5 years of total development. But a lot of that time is spent, like, I just don't know what I'm doing a lot of cases with game design and stuff. So a lot of that is just iterating a lot of systems that were initially not super good. So hopefully as I get better at game development, the iteration time will go way down and I'll be able to pump out a good game in like less than a year, but we'll see. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Is that just player cards? We got enemy cards to make too. That's true. Yep, that's true. There's a lot of work to do, but anyway, we'll get it done. And that's that number I said, like, that's if I do 1 card a day. There will be days where I do like 4 cards, right? So, and I'm going to have to start doing that as we get closer to release, where I just spend basically entire days just making a bunch of cards. But that'll be fun too. All right, take care, everyone. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hope you have a great day. And we'll need that 1 year making my dream game video. Yeah. All right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.